Well, what's going on, Gideonstactical family? Welcome back to another video here at the channel. I'm Aaron and I'm hanging out here today in the Montana woods, and I want to talk to you about a new trend I'm seeing in the footwear arena for the outdoors. And it's kind of this blending of trail runners and boots in what I don't know what we would call outside of a trail running boot. And so I want to break down not only the concept, but two different models from two different brands that I really believe are kind of breaking into this style of shoe, which I am super excited about, taking kind of the best of both worlds. We're gonna look at the Merrell Nova 2 mid-top that I've been rocking for about 8 months now and had tons of trail time with, and the slightly newer Tempo Flex from Keen. Very similar. I've had a lot of treks and hiking with it and had an opportunity to really use both of these in a lot of different environments to give you guys some basic information, data, and help you make a wise choice if, one, this idea of kind of blending a trail runner and a boot together makes sense for you, and if so, which of these two has the features and designs that would better be suited for your needs, because there are some benefits that one has that the other doesn't, and vice versa. Now guys, I have no dog in the fight. I went out and purchased both of these with the money that is generated here through the channel, so I appreciate you guys not only using the hyperlinks that we're going to offer in this video and any video that we have here, giving your likes, shares. We really appreciate that. Leave a comment below as well if you have questions throughout this video. That helps a ton. And when we have regular sponsors here, all of those things combined helps me make content just like this for you guys. And we will have links for you below for both of these shoes throughout this video. And we will dive right in and out of the gate with pricing, because that obviously is one of our first major factors anytime we're buying a new piece of equipment. The Keens are going to be a little bit more expensive, on average going between $150 and $160. And for this blending, I would say that's on the kind of higher price point of what we would find in this arena, and in comparison to the Merrell that usually comes in closer to about $130. So you're going to save a little bit of money with the Merrell. So now that we got the pricing out of the way and that kind of is weighing on your mind, let's go ahead and talk about weight in general with these two shoes. And now that's kind of the benefit that I see to this style, is they're not super heavy backpacking boots. They're just super well built, but kind of overbuilt sometimes. And yeah, they're great for miles and miles with heavy loads on your back and heavy terrain. But outside of that, they're kind of clunky and they're not really that enjoyable to wear around town or on lighter hikes when you are doing maybe a long distance, but you only have 10 to 20 pounds on your back. Those big, heavy, clunky boots can kind of get in the way. The benefit to something like this is it takes the lightweightness of, say, a trail runner, but still giving you a little bit more durability and stability with the mid-top cuts that these two models will offer to you. One thing to note is that the Merrell will come in with low top as well, and to my knowledge, the Keens only come in the mid-top. So with that idea in mind, my opinion would be you're shooting for lightweight capability, but still giving you stability, durability, and ankle support. The Merrell seems to be winning in that category, coming in each shoe weighing in at about 13 and some odd ounces. And then each shoe, so double this, you know, and I'll annotate it in for you for the pair, of the Keens coming in at 1 pound, about 2 ounces. So a little bit heavier for sure on the Keens than on the Merrell. Now, before we get to the soles, because that's going to be a really important aspect to this video, I want to talk about the body structure themselves. Now, each one of these is going to be waterproof. I have put these and submerged them in creeks many times, up against lakes. You know, I'll walk in and, 4 inches just to see, and just kind of stand there for a while to see if it soaks through the tongue or anything like that. And the waterproof capability on both of these works really well. I've been very happy with that over the long haul, not just like 1 or 2 times. I've been doing that for months on end through different environments, and I'm very happy with the waterproof capability, but they breathe rather well. Neither one of these seemed clammy to me or sweaty, even when in hotter, humid environments. Now that I'm going full-time RVing with my family, I've had all kinds of different types of environments at this point, and they never felt like overly sweaty or clammy. And so there's a good mix of waterproof capability, but also breathability that these membranes are offering to you. And I want to touch on the body structure. Now, what I've been seeing is that you get this really nice mesh collar around here, really well supported. You do have a little pull tab back there, and I'll bring reference to that in a moment. You do have really good tongue as well. There's no hot spots around your ankle or anything like that, which is really good. Easy to tie up and lace up. This one does have 2 hooks right up here for your laces. And they do have their, I want to make sure I get this right, Bellows Flex patent pending feature right here, which is really nice. There is this kind of like bending point that they've designed there, and you can watch some videos that I saw on their site that kind of talk about that, but it's supposed to just give durability to that stress point that you sometimes see tearing out on other types of shoes. And then you do have a little bit of a toe box coated right there. They don't have the insane goofy Keen toe box cover, which I appreciate, but it does have a really good nose cap here that's not pulling off in any way, which I really like. And then they have a couple kind of more wild colors. Merrell does have several different colors, but they tend to be a little bit, particularly in the mid tops, more toned down. These are kind of more crazy, almost like clown shoe-ish, but in some way, I like my tones being toned down on most of my other clothing, but my shoes I kind of like to be wild with, and so I see that. And then good body structure here in the material that they are using, and I would say between the two, the body on the Merrell isn't quite as durable. Now, I'm not seeing any real issues, and I have had it almost twice as long as those Keens have, but I can just tell that the weave on the Keens is a little bit tighter and just a little bit more durable than what I can see with these Merrells. Now, the Merrells have a mesh fabric all the way through, all the way up, and seem to be a little looser in the body, feeling more like a trail runner, whereas the Keens feel a little bit more heavy duty and a little bit more like a boot. So that's what you maybe need to weigh. Are you looking for just like high top or mid top trail runners? Well, then that's kind of more where the Merrell is. And if you're looking more for just a lighter weight boot that kind of feels like a trail runner and has a little bit more durability, that's where the Keens on the body I'm talking about, because we're about to get to the sole here in a second, and that might determine some stuff for you. But there's a little bit more flex, a little bit looser, still good lacing. These do not have hooks. They're just laced all the way up. You are going to get that nice, collar and tongue as well. There is no pull tab, and since they are mid tops, I would have liked to have something. The Keens do have that, just to kind of get it on your foot a little bit easier. Not difficult to get on and off, but it's just a little thing that I noticed. And then we have kind of that same reinforced toe right up here, and then a really good kind of toe cap that's not pulling away or anything like that. But hopefully you guys can see here, I am getting just a little bit of fraying. And again, reminding you, I've had these for about 8 months now, and these have seen about almost double the trail time that the Keens have. But I'm getting a little bit of fraying right there. We'll see how long that lasts. I've seen it for a while, and it hasn't gotten better or worse. Obviously, it's not going to fix itself, but you get what I'm saying. With this structure, whereas just the weave, again, on the Keens seem to be tighter. And sizing-wise, I wear a size 11 in almost every shoe I've ever purchased. For the last 15 years, these are size 11. They fit fantastic. They're not too narrow. They're not too wide. They fit really well, and they both have good arch support. I have medium arches. I don't have high arches. I don't have low arches. It fits perfect, and I have had 0 foot pain or other issues with either of these shoes. These are both going to come with shanks to protect against rocks, which is really good in this style of shoe. A lot of trail runners don't offer that, and so you're going to feel the impact of every pebble, stone, and root that you are hiking and trekking over, whereas these do have those shanks, and I have noticed a difference that these are not as fatiguing on your feet in rougher terrain. So where I feel like the Keen has a more durable overall body structure and a little bit more rigid, I would argue that the Merrells over here have the better sole. And here's the reason. Not only do we have Vibram soles, which we all know in the industry, they just work, man. They're tough, they're durable, they last a really long time, and there's plenty of proprietary stuff that works well too, but when you see that name, you know you're getting a level of durability. So Vibram versus Keen's, I believe it's RSS is what I'm seeing on their sole here. It's what Keen uses a lot. It's worked fine for me in the past, but you can see here on the pattern, we are getting 5mm lugs on the Merrell, so good, crazy grip pattern. I mean, the pattern on this is insane. going in every single direction and quite a lot of it. So those lugs grip really well. I've never had any slippage. I've hiked in icier conditions as well, and they are some of the grippiest, best suited shoe soles that I have seen and used. Whereas the Keens, the pattern is a little bit wider, you can see there. The lugs are 4mm, so they're a little bit shallower, and I'm already seeing some wearing on them that I'm not seeing on the Vibram. And again, the Merrell being a little bit older in my rotation, seeing more trail time. The other thing was, even on some rocky conditions that I was trying to hop over a stream, I slipped and didn't have quite the traction that I know my Merrells have when I was wearing the Keens. So even though the Keen grip is good, there's nothing wrong with it. I would say in comparison, the Vibram soles seem to be holding up a little bit better, and the traction pattern is noticeably grippier on the Merrells. And then on the Keen, you're gonna get that removable insole that is pretty dense, and I do like that aspect as well. And then you can obviously do what you need to replace that if you wanted to. The Merrells is a thinner insole for sure than, you know, the Keen has, and that is also removable. So the insole on the Keen will absorb the impact a little bit more than what we are seeing on the Merrell, though I'm not seeing either one of them seem to absorb less or more of the impact. They seem to take the hits easily on either one, and neither one seems to be fatiguing my foot. Well, folks, to wrap it all up in a nice bow, basically if you need a little bit more structure and a little more toughness and durability out of the body of your shoe, the Keen wins out. I'm just seeing that, and particularly even with that bellow flex, really at that point of wear, that I'm actually exactly seeing wear on the Merrell. Whereas the Merrell, though a little bit lighter and not quite as structured in the body, and that may wear out a little bit quicker for you, has a better pattern of traction as well as a little bit longer longevity of wear that I'm seeing on that Vibram sole. And so if the sole is a little bit more important to you, of having higher traction and longer lifespan, then the Merrell wins out. And I gotta say, it just really depends on the environment and what I'm doing that day. Both of these have been super enjoyable and very reliable for me, and I love the blending of giving me a little bit more support and a little bit more toughness than just, say, a pair of trail runners gives me, but not being this huge heavy-duty clunky boot that I'm just not going to wear that often. This blending and idea of a trail running boot really makes sense to me, and since these both coming on the market have been really kind of my one-stop shop for footwear, regardless if I'm going on the trail and doing miles and miles of hiking, or if I'm just hanging around my RV and having a good time with the kids for the day. Either way, they both make sense, just depending on what more you're looking for. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you look for in your footwear, and does a trail runner slash boot make sense for you, or do you prefer to have a dedicated trail runner and a dedicated heavy duty boot? I want to hear from you guys, and leave a comment below. I look forward to hearing the discussion, as well as your experience with either of these brands and or shoes in particular. So I appreciate you guys so much for coming over today. Check out the other video popping up. Subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber here at the channel, throwing up content like this all the time. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.